Hello. I've been spending the afternoon exploring Google Earth and the Spray Lake Sawmills general development plans. The general development plans are annual plans that are submitted to the government. Annual operating plans, AOP. And so I had a look at Spray Lake's map here of their entire forest management area that runs from all the way up near Sundre and the Red Deer River watershed, all the way down through to southern Alberta, all the way down to the Castle region. And each one of these circles represents logging activity in the next 2 to 3 years. What does it say? 2023, 2024 to 2026, 2027 general development plan. And so each one of these areas has a map. Let's just pull up this and I'll quickly show you. And they mark out all of the areas that they will be cutting, and different colors denote different years of a planned cut. So for example, this is the Highwood River planned cut, and green is what's going to be cut this winter, and purple is what will be cut next winter. And so I went to Google Earth, and let's zoom into the Highwood real quick here, and kind of generally mapped out those different areas. I also outlined the different watersheds. So a quick overview in the southern part of the eastern headwaters, we have the Old Man River, and we have the Highwood, and we have the Elbow, we have the Sheep, and we have Fish Creek and the Elbow, Jumping Pound, the actual Bow River, the Ghost, all of which flow into the Bow. And then north of that is the headwaters of the Red Deer River, which flows north and then south and meets up with the Bow / South Saskatchewan in Saskatchewan. Anyway, I know the frame refresh rate on this recording of Google Earth requires me to not move around very much. But I'm just going to start in the north and work south and just give you a quick overview of the logging. So right now I have the Google time lapse set up, which is satellite imagery from 1984 all the way to 2002. So almost 40 years of satellite imagery that's currently playing on a medium speed. And you can just see the drastic amount of logging over the last 40 years. And it really accelerates in the more recent years. And then you can see there are bits of green still. Well, you think there's bits of green left, and then they slowly get eaten up. And so these different colors of blocks are cuts that are happening in the next 1 to 3 years. And some of these might already have happened this year, and the satellite imagery just hasn't updated them. And it's just shocking. I'm going to move to the next watershed down, which is the Ghost River. And so they have not too much planned in the next couple of years, but you can see they've already done a significant amount. There are very few areas that are untouched. And this area is centered around a Bible camp. I can't imagine they're too happy about their retreat areas being logged. So that's why I'm making these videos. Just the satellite imagery is really powerful to see the impact and the scale of this logging over the years. So I'm going to move down to Jumping Pound Creek. I'll just zoom in a little bit and just let you watch this time lapse. And you can see here that there's been some cuts already happened. I think that's around early 2000s, or no, that was in the 90s. And then now they're going back and cutting the areas around those cut blocks. So as far as we know, Spray Lake Sawmills has never harvested an area that they have replanted. And their plan really is to log everything over the next 50 years, and they're already well into that, with the hopes that everything will regrow. But you cannot extract this amount and degrade landscapes this much without, cascading effects. And there is a very good chance that these forests with these impacts will not have the ability to regrow as a healthy ecosystem without some major restoration work, which is not at the scale of what Spray Lakes is doing. So here is Bragg Creek and West Bragg Creek specifically here, which is an extensive trail network of cross-country skiing and mountain bike trails. And here's Moose Mountain, also with extensive trail networks. And you can see there's not a lot of logging happening here right now. And I have, the maps that I looked at today did not show the planned logging, but I know the recreational people in this area know that there are plans to significantly log around Moose Mountain and West Bragg Creek over the coming, next 5 years or so. I think it's all the way to 2027. I will include an updated video when I get that detail. Here's McLean Creek. This is a confluence of watersheds. So here we have the Elbow River watershed, the Fish Creek watershed, and then the Sheep watershed. And McLean Creek is already very impacted by off-highway motor vehicle use. You can see the extensive amount of logging. I used to camp out here when I was, a young adult. And I remember it being great until I showed up one time and just like my regular camping spot had been leveled and there were no trees around anymore. And that's what we're seeing on this map. And yeah, you can see that there's been no logging in this area, but they're coming for it. This is happening in the next year or so. And, a couple years later, they're going to go in other areas. It's just absolutely, mind-boggling the extent of this logging. There's not a lot happening in the Sheep watershed at the moment. This area is a provincial park around, the Sheep River in this area. Let me see if I can get it to zoom in a bit. It might show us. No. Anyway, you can see around the edges, there's definitely lots of logging happening. And then down here is the Highwood River. I'm just going to zoom in a bit so you can see, and then I'll just leave it. But around the 2013 flood is very visible on this Google Maps time lapse. Right there, you can see the river this riverbed expand because of the immense amount of water. And this is the Cataract Creek area. And in 2017, Spray Lakes did a big cut that was very opposed by the public, but they don't seem to care because they can just get away with doing whatever they want. The regulatory and checks and balances on the forestry industry in Alberta over the last while is pretty much non-existent. And then this is the Highwood. This is the cut that's supposedly happening this winter, and then this would be happening next winter. There's been logging here historically in the past, but never to this extent. And this is a pristine valley. There might be a need for some selective logging and thinning up the trees to mitigate forest fire hazards, and what's the word I'm looking for? Provide disturbance to allow for different types of regeneration in the forest, but there is no natural disturbance that comes along and just cuts down this many trees, compacts the soil, and lets it all wash into the river. All of these watersheds I'm showing you are in extreme drought conditions, especially the Old Man. I wish I might be able to pull up a screenshot, but the Old Man is the biggest watershed. I'm just going to move it over here and then just let this sit here. Here you can see the Old Man Dam and Reservoir, which was built in the early 1990s. You can see, it wasn't there originally. And this reservoir is at its lowest point ever since it's been built. And I'll show you why. So I'm going to zoom in a bit here to the Old Man headwaters. First, I'll start up here because this is actually like the technical headwaters is where my mouse is here. And it has just been logged like, I don't even know how anything could live there anymore. Just watch this. Boom, 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 boom. Like, there's nothing left. And the trees aren't regrowing. And so all of this is the upper headwaters of the Old Man River. And, you wonder why there might not be any water in this river currently. And this is the lower headwaters, Dutch Creek, Hidden Creek. And yeah, Spray Lakes has the license to do all of this. Another note is this is the Porcupine Hills. There is a creek that flows out of here on the east side of this it was called Trout Creek. And since time immemorial, there's been healthy populations of trout and a regular flow of water in that creek. And over the last 10 years, the place has been really impacted by logging and off-highway vehicle use, essentially very poor land use management decisions. And that creek now has no trout in it. It's been, via eDNA testing, it's verified there's no trout living in that that creek anymore. And it's extremely sad. Yeah, that's essentially the overview. Just quick overview I wanted to show you. I'm going to do some more detailed videos on all of this, but yeah, please just keep this in your awareness. I know it might be hard to watch, but there are actions we can take, and we are organizing to get these land use management decisions changed. Spray Lake Sawmills should not be able to liquidate our forests like this for profit. This is our public forest. We, as Albertans, we have a public commons here that we are letting be absolutely destroyed. And until recently, when Spray Lake Sawmills was sold to a publicly traded company, all of the money, most of the money and profits from this logging have gone straight into the public pockets of a single family. Yes, their employees got paid. The Alberta government got a small percentage of royalties, also known as stumpage fees, but that company just sold for $130 million to West Fraser Timber, which is, for a company to sell that much, it has to be extremely profitable. And we cannot let this plan continue and to stand. Like, this is not a plan. This is extractive destruction of our ecosystems. So yeah, follow us, stay tuned. We are organizing community gatherings. Yeah, there's, I guess, 4 ways to be involved. Advocacy, which is essentially behind the scenes working to raise our voices. There's learning. So that's part of the reason I'm making this video, is so we can learn more about what's actually happening. And there's action. There's direct on the ground actions of research, potential disruptions of this in order to raise awareness. And then there's healing. There's healing work for ourselves, and there's healing work to be done on the land. And yeah, these 4 pillars should give everybody a way to get involved. But yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and I will end it now.